Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on, well, just DC TV in general, or specifically Batwoman, because, Comic-Con was, well, really, it's almost becoming a week ago that it was on, because it's just, the days are flying. Let's just be completely honest. The days are flying. So, on the opening night of Comic-Con, they did a preview screening for a couple of shows. One of them was Batwoman. I wasn't at that thing, so I waited until the Saturday at Comic-Con where they did another screening of the Batwoman pilot as well as a panel. So in this video, we're going to be going over the first episode. I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions and just my overall review in a non-spoiler fashion, mainly because I don't want to spoil it for you guys because you wouldn't have been able to see the episode for the most part, for most of you. And also they asked us to, if you were going to talk about it or review the episode, do it in a non-spoiler fashion. So don't, obviously spoil the main beats of the story and what's pushing forward the season. So yeah, I'm going to do that. But of course, this is actually the thing I'm really interested in, because I did 2 Batwoman videos when they first released the trailer, but I'm interested to see what you guys I think of the show going into it now, after like the first impressions, whether it's mine or other people's and stuff like that, because obviously there was a lot of drama around the first trailers and stuff like that, and I can give you some good things to say if you were concerned about things from the trailer. But yeah, let's jump into it. If you enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. But I guess the first question you're asking is, Pagey, is it good? And the best way I can describe it is, it's not as good as like the Arrow and Flash pilots, but it's a solid pilot. It's not bad. I wouldn't even say it's average. I'd say it's fairly solid. Like there were maybe some storytelling techniques which might be like there's a lot of exposition, but it's similar to I think the Arrow pilot did a lot of this, like a lot of that exposition with like a lot of voiceover and stuff just to explain stuff, so they could explain it in 10 seconds rather than showing a 2-minute scene explaining it, which I think is the best way to go about it. So I didn't mind it in that way because it saves time, and some of the stuff that they do mention, like it wouldn't have been that interesting of a scene. Some of it would have been interesting to see, but you gotta balance it, if you know what I mean. But some people might have an issue with that. Personally, for me, I didn't mind it too much because I knew it was saving time, which was probably better considering how much was in this pilot. Now, are there bad bits? Yeah, there's certain bad bits as well, but the good definitely outweighs the bad in regards to this pilot. In regards to the title character or the title actor of Ruby Rose, who of course plays Kate Kane, aka Batwoman, she does a really solid job. I still will stick by my point that they should have just made Kate Kane Australian, because Ruby Rose, like a lot of international actors, when they have to try and put on an American accent, they do slip out of it. Not like necessarily like they'll say a sentence in an American accent and then randomly say a sentence in a weird mix accent. It's just certain words. So you will know, me as an Australian, I might say words differently, or I might slur a word differently and stuff like that. Compared to, say, an American or an English person and stuff like that. And with Ruby Rose, because she's Australian, certain words will sound, they'll sound weird in that accent, or she will slip out of it. So, and I think she might struggle with that the entire thing. She might get better. She might get better if she has to do it constantly on a weekly basis. But that was probably the main thing I had an issue with, was the accent just sounded weird. But overall, she does a really solid job. This is, I guess, a spoiler, but she doesn't get the Batwoman look in the episode. Like, she does get that female Batman suit, if you want to call it. That's the only look you see her in this episode. So I'm guessing her getting like the red wig and stuff is something you see in like episode 2, 3, 4 or something. I am interested to see if we get to the point where we meet up where like the Elseworlds events would have happened, because it seemed like maybe Batwoman wasn't much of a thing at that point in Elseworlds because they hadn't heard of her. So I'm interested to see if we get some reference to the events of Elseworlds, at least. Maybe even like the Arkham Escape or something like that. Or even like I mentioned of Psycho Pirate, at some time in this first season. In regards to the supporting cast, Jacob Kane, who of course is Kate Kane's father, is really good in the show. I think he's a really good actor, and I think he fits the role well. He actually looks like Ruby Rose a decent amount as well, so it actually fits with them being a father and daughter. So he's a pretty solid. He's probably the best of the supporting cast. Alice as the villain is a very good actress as well, and you don't see a ridiculous amount of her in the episode, but she was good in the episode, and I'm excited to see what they do with her. The Cameron Johnson, I think the actor's name, who plays Luke Fox, who will possibly become Batwing in the future. He's also the son of Lucius Fox. He's good. Once again, not a lot of him. That's the thing. Like, really, I think it's probably Kate and Jacob Kane, and I guess like Sophie Moore, who is Kate's like ex-girlfriend. They're probably the three characters that get the most screen time in this episode because it's a lot of backstory and just family stuff. But then there's characters like Sophie's decent as well. I wouldn't say she was amazing, but she was decent because a lot of her stuff is just like her being there. The stepsister was a bit weird at first, but by the end of the pilot, I think I'm sweet with her. I think she's a good character. At the first, I was like, oh, going to be this type of character, but by the end of the pilot, I was like on board with her. The stepmother, don't see a lot of her, but she's a bit, I'm not too sure of her at this stage, but for the most part, the supporting cast is pretty damn solid. In regards to the story, you know, I sort of alluded to it earlier on. It is a lot of exposition and stuff, which I don't mind because, like, as I said, some stuff I wouldn't have minded seeing. That they just like, you know, quickly exposited like a quick 10-second little vocal piece. But you know, some of them I'm happy they skipped over and was like, oh, I didn't need to see that. It would have been a waste of time, and it probably would have been a waste of money to film. So I'm happy that they just sort of skipped over it. But of course, with Kate Kane, they do focus on her time in like military school and stuff. I can't remember. I think the real life academy is called West Point, but they changed it to Point Rock or something like that in the what do you call it, the show. They changed certain things around because what is it, like the don't ask, don't tell or something policy, and the military was disbanded, like got rid of in like 2011 or something, and that's important to Kate Kane's backstory. But if it's modern day, you can't really have it in there because it's a bit unrealistic. So they changed it around. I won't tell you like the specifics of it, but they did change it around just because of the timing of it. But obviously that's important to her backstory, and then I guess the reason her coming back. But the story that they set up, I'm excited to see where it goes. But you know, I can't talk about it because it's spoilery, especially towards the end. But you know, if you're familiar with the comics, you shouldn't be too surprised, I guess. Now, Batman is in this pilot. I'm not going to spoil how and what his effect on it is, but Batman is in the pilot, and they do respect the character. So that's been one massive issue that people have had with Batman, like, oh, they're going to shit on with Batwoman. So like, oh my god, they're going to shit on Batman, without even watching the show. They respect Batman in this pilot, and they do it in a pretty interesting way. Like, there's actually story progression in regards to like respecting Batman. I'm interested to see where they go because they do like tease that like, you know, Batman could be a thing going forward, or at least Bruce Wayne as well. So I'm interested to see where they do that. A lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that, which if you're a Batman fan, you'll be happy about. And yeah, the one thing I need to say is that line at the end where it's like, I'm not going to let a man take the what is that thing? I'm not going to let a man take the what was it, the kudos of a woman's job or something. That's not in the episode. I will say that the line about it looked better when it fits a woman, that's in the episode, and I still wish they changed it. If it would look better, it would look perfect when it fits me, because that would have been a line with no issues, and no one would be complaining about it. I don't really care about the line too much, but I know people get triggered over it. But yeah, that last line from the trailer isn't in the episode, which I'd heard before. Now, the universe is Earth 1, so it's on the Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow's Earth. We already knew this from Elseworlds, so I don't really know why I had to say that. People were still confused about it at the panel, though. So that is the Earth. I will talk about some stuff from the panel now. So Batwoman Season 1 will feature many villains from Batman's Rogues Gallery, which aren't necessarily teased a lot in this episode. In the pilot episode, there's references sort of to them. But we'll see that play out, you know, on like a weekly basis, because you need those like, you know, weekly villains and just things like that. And I'm sure with Alice being the villain, she's been around for a while, that we might get, she might, you know a decent amount of them. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do there. And they did say that Tommy Elliott, or, you know, Hush, will appear in this season of Batwoman. Now, they said he's going to appear as Tommy Elliott before the bandages. And I'm thinking we might see the progression into those bandages. I'll have to wait and see. They were pretty loose on it. But he will be in Season 1. But overall, this pilot, as I said, it's not the best pilot of DC TV, but it is above average. Like, I sat there, I enjoyed it for the most part. The audience at the panel seemed to enjoy it. There are some funny moments. I think Luke Fox is sort of going to be that funny moments sort of guy, and people were concerned he's going to be this goofball and stuff. He's not. He's just like the banter between him and Kate works well in a comedic sense. So watch it when it comes out in October. Watch it. It's a solid show. Like, obviously, episode 2, 3, 4 could suck. They could be the worst things ever. But the pilot episode, they did a solid job. The cinematography, it's probably the prettiest of the pilots because they use Chicago for a lot of things, and it looks really good in regards to how they film certain things. Like, some of it looks movie level, especially some of the opening shots with Kate Kane, in a bit of a chilly environment, might I say. So it's a solid episode. Definitely watch it when it comes out, and I'm excited to see where the series goes, because I think it does have a lot of potential. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below. I guess your expectations for this show. Like, does my review give you some sort of hope that you might enjoy the show after maybe you didn't like the trailer too much? Because I know people didn't like it. But yeah, leave all of your various comments in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.